Unless you've been sheltering yourself from the barrage of QB news this past couple of days, you've probably heard the name Malik Willis. Willis has put on a show the past few days, and Howie Roseman has been paying extra attention to the 22-year-old. Let's dive a bit deeper into who he actually is.
For better or worse, we are quarterback developers. We want to be a quarterback factory. We have the right people in place to do that.
This quote, while somewhat buried in the adrenaline of the past few seasons, it still resonates. So could Howie be adding to the factory? Who is Malik Willis? A former Auburn quarterback who transferred to Liberty for a starting position, and to Malik's credit, did everything while at Liberty to warrant the attention. But if he was chosen, it would be a developmental decision. We'll just begin with the pros because I feel like they're obvious. His arm is an absolute cannon. Even if it's rainy, unfriendly weather conditions, he's able to grip and rip with the best of them. Watching Malik's fastball versus some of the other top seniors this week, I should say, was kind of like watching Randy Johnson playing catch with a 16-year-old kid. It's just a big difference. You see the talent in the Sam Howells and the other top guys out there, but the way that he's able to get it from A to B as fast and as just on a line as he is, Malik Willis is just, his natural arm ability is just a little bit different from all these other guys. Also, his athleticism, obviously being able to pair the two, right? You look at his athleticism, he's able to make plays happen, and not just that, he's looking to make stuff happen down the field. So even when he's evading pressure, he's still looking down the field, and that's something you want to see, especially from a guy that has the special, gift to be able to run the way that he is. And lastly is his accuracy. While it's spotty, it's still impressive, and it's borderline. It's special. It's borderline elite. It really is. The way that he's able to kind of drop it in the basket or just put it on a rope 50 yards down the field.
On the reception, but Jamari Connor came off the edge, just missed the sack. But look at that ball.
It's something that you don't see every day. It's something that you look at and you look at the upside of that possibility. You look at like a Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen wasn't the most accurate, but you knew he could get it down there 60 yards down the field on a rope, get it to the sideline on a rope 40, 50 yards down the field. And I think that this is another guy that can give you that. Now, his cons, I feel, are just as obvious, but how concerning they are may depend on your staff. I'll start with one which isn't necessarily his fault, but kind of is still, so it is what it is. And it's the level of competition. Obviously, Liberty isn't Oklahoma, it's not Alabama, and it doesn't play the level of talent nor colleges that the former do. But it's fair to wonder when the talent does increase and when the level of play does increase, right? When he gets to the NFL, how is he going to adjust to that increase in talent? How is he going to make himself just as much of a weapon at the NFL level? So that's something to look into. Now, another negative is I want to talk about his accuracy. Like I said a little bit earlier, I touched on it. It is spotty, and spotty was probably being a little bit nice because I was trying to make it a positive. We're talking about a guy with 61% completion percentage at Liberty. We're talking about a guy with 12 interceptions to 27 touchdowns. So there is decision-making issues here. There are things that he's seeing on the field that are just either not there or he's just not seeing them develop properly. So there's going to be some type of change. There's going to have to be some type of change in his mental development, not just his, actual, arm, angles and mechanics. I mean, it all plays into it, but I think it goes a little bit deeper. I don't think that he's seeing the full field quite as well as he should be, especially at a place like Liberty. I'm not trying to put down Liberty's, competition. I'm just saying you aren't going against the best of teams. So I feel like you should be a little bit better, especially when it comes to passing. I feel like a lot of his wide receivers were open and he either threw them into coverage or he just missed the read completely. So that's something that's big to me. The last negative I want to get on is something that I kind of touched on as well in the accuracy, is his footwork, is his mechanics, is the development that he's going to need. That may take a season plus for him to finally get there. It's going to take some in-depth training. I feel like his mechanics are nowhere near where they need to be, especially with the upside that he has as a thrower. So I'm not going to get too deep into that. I'm sure there's a million different videos you can actually watch to see his footwork. I'm sure you can watch some of the games and see what I'm saying, but that's something that really scares me off if you don't have the developmental team to do that. Now that brings me to the conclusion and how I feel about Malik Willis. I think that this kid has loads of upside. I think that this can be a kid that can realistically be a franchise quarterback for somebody that's willing to wait it out. And what I mean by wait it out is I mean by look at a guy like Josh Allen, look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, look at a guy that, you know, has uber amount of talent, somebody that has to just kind of learn how to play the position, if that makes sense, if that's fair. I think that Malik Willis is a very good player and a very good football player, and he can be a very good thrower of the football. I think that it's going to take him at least a year to kind of figure out how to be a quarterback, especially at the NFL level. So if you're a team like the Steelers, if you're a team like, you know, I'm trying to think who might go out there. Like, I think that Houston's not a good fit for him because I don't think they have the staff to really develop him. I think that a guy like Mike Tomlin and his staff can really develop him. As an Eagles fan, I don't think we really have the staff to develop a guy like him. So I think that he has a bunch of talent. I think that he's probably like a top 20 guy, maybe, you know, 10 to 20, somewhere in that range. But I think if you're picking him, you're picking him off of what he could be and not what he will be in year one. So I just wanted to make this video because I really do feel like everybody's going to hear this name a million times over the next couple weeks. So I wanted to, you know, throw my hat out there and give my 2 cents. But you guys let me know what you think about Malik Willis and what you think about this draft class when it comes to quarterbacks in general. Now is the time to really dive into them and really try and see if everybody was right when they said there was no good quarterbacks. But this is my opinion. I would love to hear yours. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here. Peace.
Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you.
Yeah. Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly